Hey everyone, I'm Michael, and welcome to another video. Hopefully in this video I won't mess up the intro like I did in the previous 5,000 takes I just did. In this video, I'm going to be doing a development update for the Shiftnet. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and a lot has changed with the game. It's going to look similar to Socially Distant, which is a good thing. As you may know, the Shiftnet is based on ShiftOS, the PeaceNet, and Socially Distant, all unfinished games that I worked on, and this is hopefully going to be, finished. Hopefully. I can't make any promises, but I'm having a lot more fun developing the Shiftnet than I have developed any of the other games. So there's that. That, and I'm, done a semester of game dev college. So I'm a little better at, game dev. Anyway, I'm rambling. We're in the main menu right now, and I'm going to have to make a bit of a disclaimer. This is not going to be edited, because I'm a little lazy, and my computer, it wants to play Cities Skylines instead of editing videos, not gonna lie. Anyway, another thing that I'm going to point out is there's going to be a lot of placeholder white boxes around the user interface. They're supposed to be icons, but materialdesignicons.com, shout out to materialdesignicons.com for giving me an internal server error every time I try to download an icon. So that's handy. And that's where I get that's where I get all of my placeholder icons for these games. So that's very handy. I'm very appreciative of the bugs that come with that website. Anyway, whatever. I digress. This is the main menu. A lot has changed since the last Shiftnet video I've done. It's actually been turned into something that's usable. You can access the settings now. You can't scroll to the bottom of the settings for some reason. That's a bug. But you can access the settings, which is important. Still don't understand what the problem with this bug is, but whatever. Whatever floats your boat, Pandemic Framework. Anyway, never mind that bug. Everything's fine. It's all fine. We're good. Shiftorium goes nowhere, and it's going to go nowhere for the foreseeable future. I mean, until I actually, work on the Shiftnet, which will be my summer project. So it's going to be months and months and months of this button doing absolutely nothing. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the actual game. So, announcement time. I'm doing a wallpaper contest, and right now, the wallpaper that's used in the game right now is currently set to one of the submissions for that contest. If you want to get your own wallpaper into one of these videos, then submit it to the contest. It's on our Discord server, and I'll have a link to it in the description below. The top 3 winners of the contest will have their wallpapers put in the actual game, and the first place winner will actually win a $50 Steam code, because that's all I can really afford. But you know what? It's something, and yeah. So, if you want a few more information and try out for that contest, then I'll have a link in the description, and you can, do what you do. Anyway. As far as actual desktop changes, there's quite a lot. First thing is the layout of the panels has been more finalized. At the top, we have this purple bar, which is your status icons and all that. These icons are actually interactive, so you can click on them and do things. This white box, thank you, materialdesignicons.com, takes you to the settings, so that's how you get to there while you're in the game. That's kind of handy. The other one, which is an icon I actually managed to get before the materialdesignicons.com crashed, is Do Not Disturb. I will get into that in a little bit. There's the clock, which is, a clock. There's nothing special about that. And there's an apps button that does absolutely nothing, and I'm probably going to remove it. Below that, in the top left corner, we have the the info widgets. I forgot what I called the panel. It's actually called the info panel, and it contains information widgets. For now, that includes your skill level, which is a new mechanic coming in the game. More info later. Below that, in the bottom left corner, we have our social panel, which is just like in Socially Distant. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but just like in Slightly Distant, this is your feed panel from that game, and it has something new, which is the contacts panel, which I'll get into. Next to that, at the bottom, we have our consoles panel, which, you know, it's a console. There's not much else to say about that, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Pandemic Framework itself has received some updates in this build. Dark and light mode has been fixed heavily so that it's a lot less crap. You'll notice that when I activated light mode, well, first of all, there's a few bugs with the layout system, which I'm noticing now, which I couldn't notice in dark mode, but I noticed in light mode, but I'm gonna have to work on that. There are a few bugs here and there, but anyway, lost my train of thought. Anyway, the fixes with the dark and light mode switch is that the status icons up here are actually retaining their normal color that you would have in the default dark mode, which is not the case in earlier Pandemic Framework builds, which was, you know, bad and annoying, and it made me mad, so I fixed it. I've also done the same thing with buttons. Their text is actually, you know, white when they have a gray background, which is how it should be in the default skin. So yeah, that's been fixed. Now I'm gonna get out of the light mode because it's distracting me even more than the reflection of my sweater from all the light coming from the white mode. Anyway, the developer console, which is a Pandemic Framework thing, I hit the escape button by accident. The developer console has been redone as well. It now has multiple color support, which is handy. The logging system has been completely redone to be more easy to use. There's auto-completion, so if I type in Gameplay Manager, you can see that there's a list of commands that come up that are available to you when you type in Gameplay Manager, and if I hit Tab, it'll auto-complete them. So now I have Gameplay Manager dot, and then if I type an A, it's gonna narrow down the list even further. I can autocomplete to add, and maybe I want to add some XP, and I'm going to do 1000. And it works. There's autocompletes. That's Dev Console. It's been fixed. Now I have 1000 XP. So that leads me into the skill system. This goes hand in hand with another gameplay system that I'm implementing, the upgrades system. If you remember back in the ShiftOS days, there was the Shiftorium. And back in the really old ShiftOS days, that was actually called the Code Shop. And I've added the Code Shop to the Shiftnet. The Code Shop, what it lets you do is it lets you upgrade your desktop and your hacking tools and all that stuff using skill points. You earn skill points by leveling up. You level up by earning XP. You can see that I have 1000 XP from the 8 that I ran, and I have to get 1024 to level up to level 2. And right now I'm level 1 user. So if I got 24 more XP, which I can get from hacking, or cheating, or doing certain things in the operating system that you can't do in this build. So, yeah, if I earn more XP, I'll level up and I'll gain skill points. And those skill points, well, if you type upgrades in the terminal, you get the Code Shop, and you can spend your skill points in the Code Shop to unlock upgrades. So that's how that works. But anyway, it's very unfinished. None of it really works right now, so, yeah, there's that. But, whatever. The systems that allow me to implement this are in the game. It's just that I haven't fully implemented them yet. So, you know, I can't really show you most of this, but, you know, that's... Rome wasn't built in a day, and dev updates weren't recorded all in one day. So, yeah. There's room for expansion there. What I'm trying to say. Anyway. Now we lead into the chat system, which, before I open it, I'm going to explain some history. So, back when Philip Adams was still relevant in the programming community, he developed Histocom. And Histocom had this feature where every now and then you would be able to chat with non-player characters. Except, those hats were not interactive at all. You couldn't respond to the NPC couldn't ask you questions, it was just text in a box, and it happened, and you dealt with it. Well, now we go into ShiftOS, developed by Philip Adams, and you have the same thing. You get hacked, the operating system gets installed, and DevX starts talking to you through your terminal in a hat sequence that you can't interact with. Yeah. Real engaging gameplay right there. Now we enter the territory of the college student who actually learned about game design. And you realize that hat systems like that are a lot more fun when you can interact with them. That's just what I implemented. I'm playing through a test script right now, and I'm going to do another video explaining how to write your own hat scripts and implement them into the game. But this hat script, it basically tests out the entire hat system as it is implemented. And you'll notice that Mallow here is actually trying to talk to me. He wants me to respond with something. And I get to choose what I respond with. Now, granted, you don't just get a text box. You can't just type whatever you want. That's a limitation. But this is a game. This isn't real life, so I'm not going for total realism when it comes to this. This is a relatively new type of mechanic you have in hacking games. They don't really give you the ability to interact with hat. I mean, Hacknet lets you reply to emails, but it's about limited to replying with files and maybe sending a message that doesn't actually get read by the NPC. But this actually does get read by the game and by the NPC, and what you choose determines what happens next. So right now I can answer yes or I can answer no, depending on what I click. I'm going to click yes. Mallow will say something different. And as you can see, that's exactly what happened. Now there's a bug with this. Whenever there's a hat in progress, and you close the messenger user interface, and you reopen that hat, the game kind of sort of crashes. Or it gets into an invalid state. Not really a crash, but still bad. The only way to get out of it is to literally Alt F4 the game, and, you know, rerun it, and in my case, recompile it, because I'm the developer and this is source code. We'll let it do its thing, give it a minute. OBS is gonna freak out. Come on, it deadlocked. That happens too, sometimes it deadlocks like that. This is why you don't do multi-threading in monogame. Actually, let me fix that sentence. This is why you don't use monogame. I really wish I was using Direct OpenGL or DirectX, and it deadlocked again. You know, I have a Ryzen 7 3700X. This shouldn't be happening. Alright. Give it a try. Continue. There we go. It didn't deadlock this time. Okay. Alright. Where was I? Okay. The only way to fix the hat thing is to just restart the game. So I'm going to click on Mallow again. And this time I'm going to answer no. And we're going to show that it actually does have multiple responses. So this time I'm going to answer no. And now we've confused Mallow. Yeah. Different outcome. Anyway, that's the hat system. It works really well for how little implemented it is, so I'm really happy about that. Oddly enough, the scroll panel bug doesn't affect the hat. I don't know why, but that's Pandemic Framework for you. Anyway, as you can see, my skill level actually reset when I did that. That's because it doesn't actually get saved right now. That's a missing feature. Not quite a bug, just me being lazy, but oh well. Alright. So that's the chat system. That's basically all there is as far as GUI goes. But one more thing. That do not disturb button. What does it do? Well, let's click it and find out. It's also worth mentioning that if you unload a save file and reload it, and you click do not disturb, it crashes the game. So just be worried about that. Anyway, I'll fix that later. Anyway, do not disturb. Basically what it does is it mutes chat messages. That's basically all it does. So, yeah. Not really too special. It's just if you don't want to be disturbed, you click do not disturb, and it won't disturb you. Anyway, that's what that does. That said, that's almost everything. The last thing is the terminal. Terminal is getting multicolor support for the first time in years. I'm actually really happy about that. But it's very unfinished right now. Right now, the only way you can know that it has multicolor support at all is if you type something in and you cursor back character, and you can see that when I typed help and cursored back, the P in help is now black, and the background is white. That's the multicolor. That's what I'm implementing. But, you know, I'm gonna actually add actual colors and the ability to set background and foreground and italic and all that stuff. That's gonna be added, just not yet. But anyway, bugs with the terminal. Some applications that you're not supposed to be able to run as a user show up as available commands, namely the messenger, the feed, the contacts, the various system icons, and the info widgets. Those should not be runnable as commands, but for some reason it shows that they are, so that's a bug I'm going to have to fix. There are also other commands in the game, like echo, which, you know, echoes text. There's ls, which lists the currently empty root directory. There's fkdir, which makes directories. It worked. That's a bug. It should not have 2 slashes in the front. It's not a network drive. That's not how that works. Browse is the file manager, which, you know, probably I'd be very surprised if that had GUI added to it. I haven't worked on that in months, so yeah. Anyway, that'll basically do it. Now, remember, there is a contest going on in the Discord server for the in-game wallpaper. The first place winner will receive a $50 Steam gift code from me. The first, second, and third place winners, the top 3 winners, will have their wallpapers put in the game. And this wallpaper right now, which I can't really easily show off unless I go into Chrome, it's this. This is the wallpaper I've applied right now. It's by Fenix the Furry. I hope I pronounced that correctly in the Discord server. This is one of the wallpaper submissions for the contest. I will be showing off the various submissions in the game when I do dev updates. So if you want, to vote on this wallpaper, you can also head to the Discord, and there will be the ability to do so in there. Remember, this is a community vote, so the wallpaper with the most votes wins. Anyway, that'll basically do it for this dev update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry that I'm a little disorganized and hyper. That's what Christmas candy and eggnog and broccoli bake and half a chocolate orange will do to you. And a crap ton of coffee will do to you. Stay home, stay safe. Ontario's in lockdown, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.